Good afternoon, everybody. Totally Tropical Todd here with a midday Monday Milton update. So, I had a quick update this morning. Milton has grown to a strong category 4. It is considered a major hurricane, and it is now due to skirt the just the northern end of the Yucatan Peninsula. Not expecting it to make landfall over the Yucatan, but certainly coming close and causing some potential storm surge, flooding damage, wind damage, etc. Then Milton is due to move more in a northeasterly direction towards the panhandle of Florida. The models are starting to form some consensus of this making landfall right around the Tampa Bay area. One, the worst case scenario would be if it made landfall 10 to 15 miles north of Tampa Bay, and that, because the strongest storm surge as this uh, hurricane rotates counterclockwise, the strongest storm surge will be just to the south of the eye. So if this skirts just north of Tampa, that's kind of the worst case scenario. If this does hit Tampa directly due on, that's still pretty bad, but not as bad as if it were to veer just slightly to the north. But really notice, this cone of uncertainty getting a bit smaller now, but still pretty broad, right? So the cone of uncertainty here, if you were to extend a circle around this M here for 7 p.m. Wednesday, this is the center of where this hurricane is projected to be, but it could really be anywhere in this circle here. So from this far north, this far south, this far west, and this far east at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, right? Anywhere in this circle, of course, our best current model estimate is that it's pretty much due to hit Tampa Bay straight on. And this is, the projected storm surge forecast. I don't really think this has changed too much since this morning, but you could see storm surge all the way from Indian Pass to all the way into the Florida Keys, 1 to 3 feet, 3 to 5 feet here from Swanee to Yankeetown, and from Chokoloskee to Flamingo. But from Chokoloskee to Bonita Beach, we're looking at somewhere in the 4 to 7 foot range. From Bonita Beach all the way up to Yankeetown, we're looking at 5 to 12 feet, with the largest projected between Inglewood and Anclote River. So Tampa Bay, again, projected to have a storm surge here of 8 to 12 feet. And you can see how deep this penetrates inland. If you are in an evacuation zone here, please evacuate. Again, you don't have to normally evacuate far, right? You don't have to go hundreds of miles. Just move inland a bit and hunker down. But this is going to be a storm, a pretty major storm that's going to, most likely hit Tampa Bay Wednesday night, move across Orlando right around the I-4 corridor, and popping out on the, onto the East Coast by Thursday morning. So overnight Friday night is when we're looking. Most likely track will be right through Tampa Bay, then down the I-4 corridor here through Orlando. So please, take care. The rainfall projections, because this storm is moving rather quickly, the rainfall projections aren't necessarily as big as what we were originally looking at. Although, in these orange areas, we are looking at 8 to 12 inches of rainfall. So just a small shift in this track. You look at here on the northern end of Tampa Bay, we're looking at 8 to 12 inches. Just a small track southward of this, and we could see more in Tampa Bay, more in Orlando. However, the rainfall is really not really the biggest concern. It is always the storm surge. So please be careful. Here is from the rain. Here is the risk of flash flooding. So you can see here in southeast Florida where I am, we do have quite a risk of of flash floods. But then across much of the middle of the state, right here where this where the hurricane is projected to make landfall, basically Tampa Bay to Orlando, that line, and north of it, due to all of that heavy rainfall to the north, that's where our highest chances of flash flooding are. That's it for this afternoon. I will try and give an update again this evening, and several more updates throughout the week. Again, this is a major hurricane, so please be safe and take all the necessary precautions.